She froze. Something was climbing her hair. Not a malfunction, not static discharge, but alive. Tiny claws, soft fur, and the faintest sound, halfway between a kitten's mew and a raptor's cry. In the sterile silence of a galactic nursery orbiting a dying star, human caretaker Lena Hart slowly turned her head and came face to face with a creature that every species in the galaxy feared. A predator cub, one that should have torn her apart, instead reached for her with trembling paws, whispering through her translator, "Want up, hold." If that moment didn't already grab your heart, just wait, because what happens next changes the galaxy's idea of predator forever. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more human vs. alien HfyStories, and share it with someone who still believes empathy is humanity's greatest weapon, all right? Let's step inside the Zarathi Nursery. The Zarathi Nursery station drifted in quiet orbit around a dying star, its crystalline walls glowing with soft amber light. Every wall shimmered, refracting the last breath of that sun into long golden beams that crossed rows of containment pods. Inside them, sleeping, stirring, or dreaming, were the youngest lives of dozens of species. This place wasn't a playground. It was a fortress of science and rules. Every heartbeat was logged, every breath scanned, every emotion monitored by the galaxy's most advanced AIs. No noise, no chaos, no warmth, just precision. And then came Lena Hart, a human, fragile, unarmored, warm-blooded, and according to most, hopelessly unfit for such work. The Corvians with their insect limbs, the Ethetherans who floated like silver ghosts, they whispered doubts the moment she arrived. Humans are too soft, they said. They comfort before they calculate. But Lena only smiled. She tied her auburn hair back and began her rounds, speaking gently to every hatchling as if they understood. Her voice didn't match the sterile hum of machines. It softened the air itself. For 3 months, the aliens watched her, expecting failure. They didn't know that on one quiet cycle, something would test every assumption they had about humans and predators. It began as a whisper of movement, so faint that Lena thought it was just air circulation. Then she felt it again, a delicate tug at the back of her head. Something was climbing her hair. She froze mid-step. The nursery corridor stretched silent behind her, glowing in the star's fading light. Slowly she reached back, fingers brushing against warm fur and the rapid beat of a tiny heart. "Oh no," she whispered. "Rick, what are you doing out of your pod?" From behind her ear came a chirp, half kitten's mewl, half raptor's trill. The creature tangled in her auburn hair blinked golden eyes up at her. Rick, a Velcaran cub, a species feared across 3 sectors. Adult Velcarans could shred starship armor with their claws. The council had nearly banned even studying one. Yet here was a cub, barely the size of a terrier, gripping her hair like it was rope, reaching for her with trembling paws. The translator on her collar crackled, struggling to process the chirps. Then came a phrase, fragmented but clear enough to melt the coldest heart. "Want up. Hold." Lena's pulse quickened. Every warning, every regulation, forgotten. Against all reason, she lifted him gently into her arms. Rick relaxed the moment he touched her chest. His trembling stopped, the frantic heartbeat settling into the rhythm of hers. A low rumble rose from his small body, not quite a purr, but close. Tiny claws kneaded gently at her uniform as if testing the safety of her heartbeat. Lena smiled softly. "You're lonely, aren't you?" she whispered. "They keep you locked away because they're scared." Footsteps echoed down the corridor. She turned to see Carex, the senior Corvian caretaker, his glossy wings twitching. His translator flared with alarm. "Human Lena! Release the Velcaran immediately! It's a Class 5 predator!" Lena didn't move. She just stroked Rick's silvery fur. The cub had already fallen asleep in her arms. "He's a baby," she said gently. "He escaped because he's scared, not because he wants to harm anyone." Carex's mandibles clicked nervously. "You don't understand. Even cub instincts—" "I do," Lena interrupted softly. "On Earth, we had predators too. Wolves, bears, lions. Dangerous, yes, but their young still needed comfort and touch. He's not attacking me. He just wanted someone to hold him." The Corvian hesitated, staring at the impossible sight before him. And in that moment, Lena proved something quietly radical. That empathy could diffuse fear faster than any weapon. Lena carried Rick back toward the high-security section, ignoring the nervous chatter crackling through alien comms. The corridor lights dimmed as the station's AI switched into containment mode. 3 other caretakers appeared ahead, maintaining what they clearly believed was a safe distance. When she knelt by Rick's pod and tried to set him down, the cub whimpered. His claws extended, not in attack, but in desperation. The translator caught the broken words, "Stay, please, no alone." Lena froze. The sound pierced straight through her. For a long moment she just looked at him, those golden eyes wide with fear, his tiny body trembling. Then, against every protocol, she whispered, "Okay, little one, I'll stay." Gasps rippled from the caretakers as Lena stepped inside the pod, sitting cross-legged. Rick immediately curled into her lap, pressing his small face into her uniform, the tension melting away. "Human Lena," Carex warned. "This violates every council directive." "I know," she replied softly, stroking Rick's fur. "File whatever reports you want, but no living being deserves to grow up afraid of itself." The cameras recorded everything, but Lena didn't care. She wasn't thinking about rules anymore, only about a frightened child who just wanted to be held. 3 hours later, the station director arrived, expecting chaos, expecting blood. Instead, he found silence. Inside the containment pod sat Lena Hart, still awake but calm, her auburn hair tangled and her uniform creased. And in her lap, curled, sleeping, and peaceful, was the galaxy's most feared predator cub. Every caretaker stood frozen. Every sensor logged the impossible. A Velcarin heartbeat synced perfectly with a human's. No aggression, no stress, no threat detected. Just harmony. The director didn't speak for a long time. Finally, he whispered, "How?" Lena looked up, tired but smiling. "Because he's not a monster," she said. "He just needed what every young creature needs: connection." That moment spread faster than any data stream. Across networks and systems, beings of every shape and world saw the image, a human holding a predator asleep in her arms. It rewrote how civilizations defined danger, and what they thought humanity truly was. When asked later why she broke the rules, Lena's answer was simple. Humans don't abandon those who need us, no matter how many claws they have. And in that instant, the galaxy understood. Humanity's strength wasn't in muscle or weapons. It was in the courage to show kindness where others saw fear. If that story moved you even a little, remember, sometimes the smallest act of compassion can change everything. In a universe filled with fear, humanity's superpower has always been empathy. So, what did you feel when Lena decided to stay with Rick? Would you have done the same? Tell us in the comments below. And hey, if you love stories where humans remind the stars what a heart means, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Because out here in the galaxy of HFY, humanity always finds a way to care.